Hello everyone. Welcome. If you are new to the channel, welcome back. If you love me, I love you too. We are here for winter solstice Yule readings, secret code name style. It's similar to pick a card, so those who purchase these secret code names, they know which reading is theirs. If you did not, then you would choose whichever secret code name stands out to you, resonates with you. There's likely a message in there for you. That's how these secret code names work. We are going to get right into the messages. The secret code names are Juniper Berry, Morning Star, Red Velvet, and Snow Globe. All right, and we're going to start with Juniper Berry. So Spirit, please, with this theme of coming out of the dark night, what does your rise into light look like? What does your rise into light look like? One more shuffle. I'm going to do a truth key spread. Okay, we've got Temperance on the bottom and the Three of Pentacles on top. Okay. Secret codename Juniper Berry. Your energy is victory, okay? In and of itself, we have the Six of Wands in the middle. That's your energy. You're coming from a place of compassion with the Page of Cups. I just heard for the self. So you're holding compassion for yourself, which is what is creating the victory. Underlying energy is the Page of Wands, and overlying energy is the King of Wands. So you are ready to reinvent yourself in a way that really locks in. Spirit's showing me like crosshairs, like locked in on the vision of what you want for yourself moving forward. You may be a little sad in the nearest future because this is like a progression of events. Over things that didn't work out. It may take you a little bit of time to let go of the betrayals that you experienced when you weren't maybe as self-aware, when you were trying to force is a little bit of a strong word, but while you were trying to manifest specific outcomes with certain people or certain situations, or hoping things would have turned out a certain way, right? Hope is a beautiful name, but a bullshit word. We were fingers crossed and hoping, and thinking that something would last in the long run. and realizing that, you know, if it's not made to last from the beginning, that at some point it's going to break. Because I'm being super drawn to the nutcracker that's on the ground. It's broken on the ground there. It wasn't made to last a lifetime. And I think moving forward, you're really, once you get through that grieving process, which is totally natural, right? Once your wisdom starts to really nurture your inner child, you take off into the Ace of Cups, and this is the universe overflowing to you in a big way, allowing that wisdom to nourish you and protect you and result in something not just sweet, but appealing, you know, like it actually appeals to you. It continues to progress into the Empress, so you receive that Ace of Cups really well. Whatever blessing the universe overflows to you, you're receiving it with open arms and open mind at that, because we have the Page of Swords in the final progression. So the outcome is you being at beginner's mind, and you may have old thoughts pop up just because those old thoughts are a familiar gear that you're used to switching into under certain circumstances. Like, if it's this good, is it too good to be true? Or if it's this sweet, you know, where's the bitter? You know, if it's sweet in the beginning, then it must have a bitter end. And I do feel like you're going to spend a little time fighting off those thoughts. And it's mostly because you haven't seen this before or ever chose it before, right? To receive something so sweet that's actually in alignment with you, that doesn't just feel good, but it's what your soul's always been craving. And you will have a choice to make on whether or not you receive it for what it is moving forward and commit to the contract of alchemy, right? That Temperance and Three of Coins. Or if you're going to go back into old patterns. So I feel like you do have one more test coming through. Let's get some further clarity on this. It definitely wasn't easy for you to move forward out of and away from relationships or situations where you really did feel or hope that it would last longer. But you're in it to win it, like, that's for sure. You're in it to win it. You are not willing to settle for, you know, taking losses. You would rather bet on a sure thing than fingers crossed for something. Spirit saying people will show you how invested they are in the dynamic and how much they respect the dynamic with their actions. If you have question marks popping up or concerns coming up, if you don't feel like you could talk about it for whatever reason, you got to ask yourself why, and then push through that so that you can talk about it, because when you start expressing yourself, that's when true colors tend to come through with others, and you just kind of have to take it for face value. All right, clarify the Six of Wands. Yeah, Six of Wands. Clarified again by the Six of Wands and the Nine of Swords and the After Tarot. So you're victorious over your demons. You fought them off Straight up, you know, if it's causing you anxiety, you're like, why am I doing this to myself? Like, I'm not going to sit here and cry, you know, when I'm alone by myself because I don't have answers or I'm not experiencing what I want to experience. Your victory is over the anxiety and the nightmare of things. Clarify the Page of Cups. Why are you showing yourself so much compassion moving forward? The Star card, because you've healed. Because you've healed. You're like, you know what? If other people aren't going to water me, I'm going to water my dang self. Showing yourself major compassion. And that's rippling out from you to other people. And that they're able to read your energy and feel your energy, and they know that. If someone's not on your level, they would know it right from the gate. And they're not going to give you the attention or reciprocity that your vibration requires. So it's going to be pretty obvious who is or isn't in your energetic corner. Clarify the Page of Wands. The Page of Pentacles. Yeah, you're reinventing yourself in that you're willing to seize opportunity. It's not just about creating opportunity anymore. And maybe that's where you may have, you know, used to have found yourself trying, right, to create opportunity, where now you're just receiving opportunity. And you're willing to give things a chance if they show you that they're invested, if they're a joy to be around. You know, the energy doesn't have to be big, huge energy, but it does have to be very humble, almost jolly energy, because I'm just being drawn to the dwarf. And he does have this kind of jolly vibe. You know, it's more than just happy. It's like when you bring happiness and humbleness together. And it's kind of adorable, you know? And I feel like that's maybe how people are looking at you. Like, your energy is just super fresh with the double pages, because you're not feeling tainted anymore by your past pains. Your energy does feel very fresh. And I think you want it that way. You know, you want that fresh energy, and that's exactly what you're drawing in. You're in fresh energy, so you're drawing in fresh energy. What is this King of Wands? The vision. What you're ultimately hoping to see or achieve. We have the Ten of Cups, the Ten of Coin, and the Four of Swords. You want fulfillment, you want stability, you want the family that you choose, right? It's not the family that we're born into, but feeling like you're the family that's been chosen, and you want peace. You want peace. Fulfillment, stability, reliability, peace. I don't fucking blame you. I don't blame you at all. You want those loving vibrations, not just within the self and in the heart space, but in the reality. You want to feel at ease. Mentally, you're ready for the break. When you picture your highest good, you picture yourself happy, you picture yourself whole, you picture yourself secure and at peace. That's what you're going after. Clarify the Ten of Swords. We got the Chariot. Yeah, you're moving on from that energy. You accept it for what it is in your heart space. You've learned a lot. And you are moving now. You're moving forward 100%. It's like you've told the divine what you want, and now the divine is answering that wish. And it's giving you a solid sense of direction, right? Divine direction. Clarify the Ace of Cups. Yeah, you're not willing to feel like you've betrayed your own self by ignoring certain red flags or pings or things like that anymore. And the divine is totally on your side with it. You're ready. The divine knows you're ready. Very in sync with yourself. Clarify the Ace of Cups, please. We've got the Six of Cups and Temperance. And that's that return to home. That's that alchemy energy, that Ace of Cups. Spirit is bringing you something or someone, if not both, that really does feel like home. Feels so comfortable. And I feel like it's not boring in that they challenge you and give you a consistent growth edge that is also no pressure. You know, it's not like one of those toxic growth edges. It's one of those very positive ones. It's a very supportive energy. It's you and your inner child really connecting to the joy of someone else's inner child, being in each other's presence and feeling like you both push each other to grow in a very lovely kind of way. Spirit's got you. Spirit's got you. Clarify the Empress. What are you receiving? What is this grand receiving? Your vision, the King of Wands. With the Seven of Pentacles. You don't really have to do any work. This Seven of Pentacles card, because this is the after tarot, you know what you can do and what you can't do. You know when it's time to just wait and be patient because it's not quite ready to harvest yet. And so you're receiving your vision knowing that you don't have to put in so much work. It's just simply a time for you to receive. You're letting the universe continually give to you. It's like residual spiritual energy. Instead of residual income, it's like residual spiritual energy. Your receiving is steady. It's not like one huge, like upswing of receiving. It's spirit is giving you more and more and more and more and more consistently over time. And if and when, you got to put in a little work and do a little weeding, like that's fine, but it's so maintainable and manageable. Spirit's giving you that vision. And you know it, and so you are willing to be patient. King of Swords, you're fucking smart. You're receiving messages from Spirit. You're receiving those intuitive downloads. You're receiving the signs and synchronicities. You're getting the messages, and you're looking at it from a very logical perspective. It's almost like you're having a very high level conversation with Spirit on a consistent basis. And accepting, how Spirit is speaking to you and the messages that you're receiving. Clarify the Page of Swords. The final outcome, clarify the Page of Swords. Strength. Strength. You're embracing who you are and what you want. You're embracing your power. Your mind is so freaking excited to be receiving what it wants to receive, and your heart, and the train is going off in the background. Like your heart is so happy that your mind is choosing in alignment with what feels good. You went back to beginner's mind, found your power, and said, I can choose whatever I want to choose. If it feels good, I'll keep choosing it and see where it continues to go, and it'll continue to feel good. Increasingly so, right? This is a very steady gratitude. It's a very steady flow of gratitude. Clarify the Two of Swords on why this outcome is the way it is. Clarify the Two of Swords. We have the Two of Pentacles. You've accepted that certain ships have sailed, including the one that you're on. Like, if people didn't make the cut, they didn't make the cut. Three of Cups and Three of Swords. You know, these third-party energies that you've had to heal from, like, it's too late. Those that hurt you in the past, where the ideal and the real were not the same, you've accepted the karmic lessons in it and are choosing to heal. The ship has sailed. Other people who are still figuring out what they want, and they're juggling between you, do I, don't I, something else, like, and they're kind of juggling, you're like, the ship sailed. You know, the ship is, it's gone. I'm boarding. I'm going to a whole new world, right? All new energy. I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to be healed. And this is the choice that you made. And maybe you made that choice because you felt you had no choice. You know? Like, them juggling for so long between you and other things. You're like, that's fine. I'll make the choice for you. I'll make the choice for myself. You're not what I want, right? You're not what I want anymore. You're too inconsistent. You're not dependable. You're not reliable. It's not fulfilling. It's not stable. It's not peaceful. And that's what I want. And you're not it. We got the Ace of Swords on the bottom and the Five of Pentacles on top. And you know what? The truth is, there's someone else out there who's been through what you've been through. And whatever you're lacking or were lacking in the past as far as receiving, they have it to give to you, and vice versa. And vice versa. Spirit knows the truth. Spirit knows the truth. You're ready to walk into the world with someone who looks at you as an equal and wants to hold the world with you, not take it from you. Or hold it, you know, just out of reach, like, oh, I'm the whole world and you can't quite have it. Like, nah. No, you're moving into, again, the Three of Coins, and this is a statue with a figure holding the cornucopia. You're like, I don't want limited. I want unlimited, right? Gratitude, abundance, that residual spiritual income. And you're going to get it, like 100%. That's the path you're on. When you come out of the dark night, when you show yourself that compassion and that healing, and you allow the divine to move you forward, everything starts to click and gets progressively better as you go. What's the guidance, please, Spirit? I'm using the White Light Oracle. What's the guidance, please, Spirit? For secret code name Juniper Berry. What's the guidance, please? Yeah. Dakini of Infinite Light. I love these cards. This deck is so pretty. It's card number 9. It says, seek and you shall find. First line, seek and you shall find. Find the teachers and teachings which feel pure to your heart, but remember, it is the inner truth of you that will ultimately set you free. Do not give your power away, but do trust in a greater guiding wisdom at work in all aspects of your life. Ask for help from enlightened spiritual beings in any matter of concern, and help shall be granted. Believe all problems can be resolved, and a more graceful life experience is opening up for you now. The Dakini is a supernatural feminine being who inspires spiritual practice, guides one to actualize siddhis, or spiritual abilities, and teaches the inner path of awakening. She protects us from negativities and restores our vital energies. She teaches us how to act with wisdom. She can be a demanding teacher, requiring us to reflect upon the mysteries she presents through our dreams, inspirations, and meditations, and proceed to unravel them. As we do so, we develop our inner capacities to become stronger. These wild feminine creatures can be a gentle or fierce, or a combination of both. When she appears in a reading, travel your path and explore your questions about spirituality and awakening with confidence, for much progress can be made as you do. Some dakinis are fully enlightened, while others are still in their process of awakening. Truly enlightened beings have the ability and desire to assist all other beings to enlightenment. They know how to lead us along the path because they have walked it before us. Beings of lesser development may or may not have such helpful intentions, but even if they do, how can they show us the way when they themselves have yet to discover it? Truly enlightened beings can and do help us in many ways, from solving problems we encounter in our daily lives to ensuring we are taking the most beneficial steps on our spiritual path. They are our spiritual family, guiding and assisting us from a place of love and skillfulness. The Dakini of infinite light, Marichi, is one such being. Marichi is connected with the rays of light from the sun. She is sovereign over all lesser beings. Her many gifts include the capacity to guide one into enlightenment, to heal and repair that which has been separated or broken, and to provide protection during vulnerable transitions whenever we venture beyond known worlds, and also from misfortune and negativities of all kind, including being manipulated, controlled, or exploited. She resonates with material abundance too, and is associated with providing the prosperity we need to live happy, long lives and make progress on the spiritual path. It's this divine goddess of the sun brings light on all levels. We need light to see clearly, otherwise we feel confused as to which steps to take, if any to take. This is just as true as emotional or psychological levels as it is on the physical. Light helps us see what is happening rather than making assumptions. When we see what is happening clearly, we have the opportunity to make the best choices. The oracle of the Dakini of infinite light augurs an increase of light in your life, and this can include a lightening up after a difficult time, an increase of clarity from a helpful, healing, and higher perspective, or a clear, positive path opening up through a troublesome time. Her appearance signifies sacred victory. Call upon her and do not give up. She embodies soul mom energy, soul sister energy. And you may be connecting with a very sacred feminine energy in general, right? Regardless of gender. You may be really opening up to someone who understands what it's like to be in your shoes and what you've gone through, because they've gone through something very similar. That's what this Five of Pentacles is. You know, it's two people who have been left out in the cold by dynamic ships that were never going to last, and having to heal through those things. You know, you're finding someone who understands you because they are, in a sense, mirroring your inner child. And I think that's why the two of you in soul get along so well. There's understanding there. There's patience there. There's harmony there. You've both gone through abandonment wounds, and you support each other in what y'all are looking for. I love that card for you. Things are opening up in the perfect way at the perfect time. You and this person, whoever the Six of Cups is, right? This soulmate who's in your spread. They want to celebrate healing with you. Celebrate getting out, you know, of this nightmare state. They've claimed a victory for themselves just like you have. They've healed and chosen compassion for themselves just like you have. They've been through the shit, and so have you, and you've both come out on the other side and just so happen to find each other. You're both gentle and fierce, you know? And you use that energy in alignment with each other for each other. That enlightenment is that growth edge. It's that really beautiful heal and repair type energy. Lots and lots of light. So, secret code name Juniper Berry. This is what you have to look forward to moving forward, coming out of your dark night, and I love it. So I hope it helps. Definitely let me know in the comments if it resonated with you, and I will catch you next time. Bye. All right, secret codename Morningstar. Let's see, we're doing a truth key reading. Let's see what it looks like for you coming out of the dark night. Spirit, what does it look like for secret codename Morningstar as they come out of the dark night? Bottom of the deck is the 5 of Wands. Top is the Emperor. Okay. So where you are right now, as you come out of the dark night, you're in the 7 of Wands energy, which is guarded and defensive, right? Definitely defending yourself. Standing up for yourself, maybe defending your peace, because that's where you're coming from, right? You're coming from a place of rest and reset. Underlying energy, we have the 10 of Cups, and so, you know, underneath everything, you're happy and you want to be happy, you want to stay happy. You want that fulfilled energy. And are very focused on manifesting that, right? With the Magician and the over energy, the overlying energy. You know that you're a creator. I think coming out of the dark night, if anything, you know, coming into your Emperor energy, truly, and choosing an alignment is maybe where you have conflicts. Maybe you have certain belief systems or social structures or social acceptabilities or certain things that, you know, had you choosing in a certain way that was not necessarily in alignment. Not, you know, that it's not the quote unquote right thing to do, but the right thing to do socially and the right thing to do spiritually is two different things sometimes. And so right now you're very much defending your peace, coming out of the dark night and focusing on fulfillment, happiness, people that you are grateful for who are grateful for you, and manifesting in alignment with that energy, right? Defending the fact that you are a creator of your own happiness. With the progression of events, you know, and it's not necessarily any specific time frame, but it's the order of events, okay? We have the Death card starting off. And so, you know, the immediate next step or what is upcoming is an ego death, and it's very much accepting the truth, you know, because there is only one truth, the capital T truth. And I feel like it might be your belief systems, because the Hierophant is here and he's praying to death. And it's like, you know, the ego has already been humbled. The Emperor is here on the ground, and you've already had your ego humbled. But now it's your belief systems, and your belief systems are like, please, you know, like, I don't know if I can handle revamping my belief system. And yet Spirit's like, yeah, but the truth is the truth, and there's only one way, you know. When we're talking about the highest good path, the path is the path. Are there other ways to get there? Yeah, but it's called detours, it's called wrong turns, and Spirit's like, do you want the most effective and efficient path, the highest good path, or not? And at first, you don't know. You know, we have the Eight of Swords here. You're not entirely sure. You feel a little bit trapped in your head. And ultimately end up letting a third party go. And it's sad. You know, we get the Five of Cups here at the end. But we have the Five of Cups at the end because of the Knight of Pentacles. And the Knight of Pentacles is moving forward one solid step at a time. Very cautious, and making sure that if they do take a step, that it's not the wrong one. And so, you know, like, no matter what or who it is that you are letting go of, that it is the right step, because you've weighed it quite a bit. And you maybe couldn't see any other way, because the path is blocked. You know, if you look at this Eight of Swords, the path to the castle is behind the swords, behind the icicles. And you know that, you know, there's lots of little teeny truths in between, but there is only one truth. And even if you do let a third party energy go, or a karmic lesson situation go, you do have a Two of Cups standing behind you with you. So you're not alone in this. You know, you do have support. And this was not a decision that you came to lightly. But coming out of the dark night, this is about accepting that your belief systems maybe need a bit of a revamp. And it's uncomfortable at first, but ultimately you do land, I feel like, on the right decision. Let's get a little more insight into this for you. You know, and being Morning Star, it's Venusian, you know, so your heart is in the right place. Your energy is beautiful, but Morning Star is also Luciferian. And so you may be looked at like an asshole. Someone may be looking at you like the devil. And maybe you're not used to being viewed that way, right? Maybe you don't like being viewed that way. And your belief is to leave people on a good note. Maybe that's just it, you know, leave people on a good note, close doors on a positive note. And that's typically who you are, if you can help it. But I think all the love in your heart maybe can't necessarily stop you from being vilified when you take the highest path there is. It's definitely okay to be perceived as the villain sometimes. Just because someone perceives it that way doesn't mean that you are. You know, in the mirror of things, if someone else is calling you the bad guy, it's because they're dealing with their own inner bad guy energy. You know, they're the villain in their own story, and they haven't accepted and embraced that yet. Clarify the Seven of Wands, please, with the Self position. We got the Hierophant. Yeah, you're defending your belief system. It's Chiron connected. You would rather hurt than have other people hurt. You feel like that is right. Why would you put hurt on others to spare yourself your own hurt? That's the belief system that the Death card's coming after. You would rather hurt and suffer than hurt other people. Like, you're strong enough to take it. You're strong enough to handle it. And Spirit's like, that's not the point. Just because you're strong and you perceive them as fragile doesn't make it true. Yeah. You're defending the fact that you would rather hurt than cause pain. Spirit said that you can't move forward with that. You can't move into your highest path believing in that. Nope. Clarify the Four of Swords. Clarify the Four of Swords. I'm hearing you're coming out of what is a sleeping state, right? Where you just wanted your peace. You wanted things still and unchanging like winter, right? This frozen kind of energy. The Eight of Cups. It came out sideways. I'm being pulled to read it in the reverse. So this Eight of Cups, the figure walks away and then another figure comes up and looks at the cups that have been abandoned, you know, and is feeling the energy in the cups that were left behind. Bad blood, lost love, not fulfilling, and hoping that if you move forward, someone will see your value in hindsight, that they'll feel you and understand you in hindsight, and they may or may not actually end up seeing it. Like, you would want to go back and reestablish peace. But Spirit's, you know, I'm getting this feeling of someone not following suit in pertinence to you. Like, they might learn and feel and understand what you went through, but they're not going to connect the dots. And Spirit said, and that's a them problem. A them problem that Spirit's working on with them. Clarify the Ten of Cups, please. Underlying energy. What's going on beneath the surface of you defending yourself? Because you really do want that happiness. Yeah, we got the Four of Wands. You know that you need to move into your own future and say goodbye. You know, the party's over. The party's over. You know, the wedding is over. The time together is over. Now it's time to go live out your happily ever after. It's your time. And you know it's your time. I'm hearing a song. Is it a fucking Mickey Mouse song? Cause now it's time to say goodbye. Like M.I.A. Spirit, what the fuck? Oh my God. It's that childlike energy that's saying goodbye. It's like you're growing up. Coming into union with the self, it's you're growing up. You're going into a more consistent fourth dimensional space. You know, you're very well aware of the 3D, the mundane world, but you're also more aware of the stability within the protection of spirit when you're having that divine conversation and integrating it on a regular basis into your everyday 3D life. You know that. It's a part of what's driving this desire for fulfillment. Clarify the magician energy, please. The overlying energy, what you're very consciously aware of, what's being thought about and things like that. What is on your mind actively, or what you're even communicating out, words or actions. You got the 8 of Pentacles. You want to see it. You want to see a finished product. It's not about working anymore. It's not about putting in effort and trying. You know, this is about finished product. You want to manifest a finished product. It's not about putting in so much hard work. It's about seeing the manifestation or the result of all your hard work. You want to see the final product. The result of all the work. Like, how many times have you gone back to the piece and just changed a little bit here, did a little more work there, and Spirit's like, you know, your inner self, your higher mind is like, okay, can you stop nitpicking at it? Can you accept it's a finished product? Can we just manifest the finished product and say that's what it is now? Right? Not working so hard anymore. You've put in a lot of work already. You've put in so much work already. Clarify the Death card, please, as we get into the upcoming events. And we got the Magician again. In order for you to manifest the final result, you really do have to let go of that belief system. Lots of Gemini, lots of Virgo energy on the board. Taurean energy is on the board. Scorpio. Aries. Mars energy. Yeah. Spirit said it's that straightforward. If you want to manifest the final result, because what you really do desire is fulfillment and happiness and feeling emotionally sound, grateful, excited to live out the dream. You want the final result. Spirit said if you want the final result, we got to shift that belief system. You cannot prevent the suffering of others by taking it on yourself. Clarify the Ace of Swords. We have the 8 of Swords in the reverse. No one's going to help you do it. This 8 of Swords in the upright, someone is coming to help take, you know, the bindings off. But in the reverse, the truth is, no one can do that but you. No one can get you out of your head but you. No one's coming to save you from your own thought patterns. No one is coming to save you from this belief system. This is something that you have to tackle on your own, and that is the truth. Clarify the 8 of Swords here. Yeah, we got the Tower. We got the Tower. You'll stay trapped until you absolutely can't fucking take it anymore. Spirit will push you to a breaking point. So it's like, yeah, you know the path, you know the path. You're not taking the path. Spirit said it's still the path, and it's going to push you to a breaking point. If you've got to get humbled twice, it's going to humble you twice, right? The Tower shows the Emperor, again, here, defeated on the ground. And it's not what you want to receive, because the Empress is right there with them. They're both on the ground. They're both on the ground. The Tower to me is it's self-deception. That's a pretty stubborn belief system. You know, that Taurean energy. And maybe it's because, you know, you were thinking about making the right decision for so long. You got to be sure it's the right decision. Too cautious for too long. Spirit's like, stop playing it safe and play it with Spirit. Spirit will keep you safe. It's too much control, right? All the Emperor energy present on the cards, it's trying to control it too much. Spirit's like, you can't control the path. You can only keep yourself from walking it. And you can't do that. Can't do it forever. Again, Mars energy. Clarify the Five of Cups. Makes it harder. You know, where things could end amicably sometimes. When we push it to the absolute breaking point, it's fucking rough. It's more volatile and explosive than it ever needed to be. Ace of Wands in the reverse. Six of Coins and the Ten of Cups reverse with that Five of Cups, right? You feel totally uninspired to ever give to anybody who needs you ever again because it makes you fucking miserable. That's not your happiness. Spirit's letting you know what I mean? Like, are we supposed to give to others and be guided to give to others sometimes? Yeah. But if you're not inspired to give, because the idea of giving upsets you, like, that's something you're going to end up needing to heal from. The problem wasn't that you were giving and miserable for giving. It's because you continued to give when you weren't called to give anymore. You overextended your energy. You took on too much pain. You were never meant to take on that much pain, right? And that is the lesson Spirit's trying to teach you here. This deep Chiron wound. You were never meant to suffer. Spirit would never have you suffer. So if you're suffering, it's because you're choosing it. If you're unsatisfied, it's because you're choosing it. Comes to a huge head. Coming out of the dark night might be a little rough for you, you know, depending on how much you can get out of this, you know, heavy earth. The Magician twice, you're overthinking things. Yeah, the Knight of Pentacles is clarified by the Page of Wands. I feel like there's more. Death card in the reverse. Yeah, you've got to reinvent yourself from this death energy, thinking you can avoid it. This overly cautious, energy. In this death card, I had a feeling it was going to come out. Like, in this one, you could see the Pope or the Hierophant is pleading with death. Like, please, please don't. But here, the Hierophant is on the ground with the Emperor. They're both on the ground together. The feminine is upset, and the inner child isn't doing so hot either. Like, you're going to have to reinvent yourself anyway. And it's not like everything about your belief system is flawed. It needs a revamp. Like, yeah, we're meant to care about others. And yeah, to an extent, we are guided to put off our own suffering for others. But when there's no progress being made and you know that something has expired, then it's expired. You can't just keep suffering until you reach a breaking point. Like, you know, the first red flag or the first sign you get That if something doesn't feel good, you gave one time and it was not received well or reciprocated, or didn't result in what you had hoped for, to accept that it's something you need to let go and you are not meant to continue to suffer. Because whatever you find yourself settling for, you're going to end up getting less than what you settled for. Bottom of the deck is the King of Swords. Top is the Five of Swords. Sometimes I'm getting this two different ways. You can be cold because Spirit's right, and you can walk away from Spirit. Spirit's always right. And you can accept that in regards to other people, sometimes you just have to accept that your higher self is right. And other people aren't going to like it, and they're going to walk away, and they may or may not ever come back. And you might be perceived as cold, but you're receiving higher messages from Spirit, right? The hawk here. The butterflies in the background on the throne, like, your transformation is what it is. Your higher conversations are what they are, and you can claim the victory knowing that you're right. Spiritually speaking, you're right. And there's no guilt, you know, you don't need to be tied to any guilt. I think that's what you're having a lot of anxiety about with these double eights of swords. These double death cards, right? This Hierophant card. Afraid of the guilt. What if you're wrong? What if they hate you? Spirit's like, who fucking cares? How they think, how they perceive, and how they feel genuinely is not your concern. It's Spirit's concern. Your concern is how you feel, how you perceive yourself. How you inflict suffering on yourself to quote unquote spare other people. Spirit's like, no offense, but that's kind of bullshit, you know? What's the guidance card, please? What's the guidance card, please? Mind you, you know, tarot it reveals the projected path that you're on. So if you don't necessarily like the way these events are looking, you are always in control of your energy. You can choose to accept this is the current path and change it. Right? You are the magician. You are the emperor. You are in conflict with how you manifest, and you can end that conflict at any point. You could stop defending that belief system at any point and make it a whole hell of a lot easier on yourself. What is the guidance, please? Alabaster tablet of Layla and 7 blessings of Eve. Card 41. It says you are remembering at a soul level. You are tapping into greater awareness, and an understanding of your highest life purpose shall become even clearer to you. This may evoke unsettling change within you, but that change is necessary for a new way to manifest. You are protected and guided at all times, especially when you feel uncertain about your course. You are truly loved. The angel Layla heralds from Talmudic scriptures Unlike any other angel, she is specifically described as a feminine being. Layla is a reminder that there is a place only the feminine can fill. If we attempt to live our lives skewed toward the masculine, we will miss out. Really. If we live in the masculine, right? If we skew our energy towards the masculine, which we had tons of Emperor energy out here, Mars energy out here, right? Mental energy out here, we tend to miss out. There is great value in masculine tendencies towards exploration, adventure, progress, and development. However, the feminine tendencies toward compassion, acceptance, kindness, and mercy of the self are a balancing necessity. For humanity to survive, these dual wisdoms need to find balance and integrate into mature expression in every human heart. The appearance of Layla in a reading suggests the feminine must lead at this time. Allow the way to be shown rather than directing a path based on your current perspective. She's a guardian angel watching over all transitions, including the transition of the soul into the embryo during conception and the guiding of the soul out of the body into the realms of light when the physical life draws to a close. It may be that your outer life is going through a change, or it may be that your inner changes are happening within your soul, or both. You may not know how to traverse. You may not know how to traverse the shifting inner and outer landscapes, but the oracle advises you that this great angel is guiding you faithfully and effectively. In the Talmud, Layla teaches wisdom to all souls before they are born. She then strikes the upper lip of the infant at the moment of birth, creating the indentation of the upper lip and causing the child to forget everything they know. Life is then the journey of reconnection and rediscovery. The alabaster tablet is a crystalline scripture. Its vibration encourages the soul to seek the light and the spiritual path, sparking remembrance of inner truth. It helps us remember the sacred purpose for which we were born. If you feel out of your depth or in need of more information or understanding, this oracle reassures you that it is okay to not know everything right now. The answers you need shall become clear at the right time. All is within. Crystals are embodied light, and alabaster is in particular emanates the white light frequencies. It is highly reputed as a drawing stone, absorbing negative energies and attracting the light of spirit into your heart and life. The alabaster tablet is created from a sheet of alabaster that energetically sheaths the soul, deflecting interference through its invisible protective shield. This oracle encourages you to cleanse and do what feels right for you, sealing your work with a protective shield of white light. You can accomplish this by calling upon the alabaster tablet of Layla, combining the sacred earth medicine of alabaster and the celestial angelic protection of Layla, using the healing process below. It says, I'll read the healing process specifically because it mentions it. It says, as you relax and become increasingly aware of your breath flowing in and out, allow yourself to be present in this moment. Let your awareness shift from the daily world to the sacred inner world. You can see, sense, visualize, or feel that sacred inner world as you read or listen to the description. There is a point of light within your heart. As you notice that light, it rapidly expands, and you feel a sense of love and recognition. You know, without knowing how you know, that this light is a friend from long, long ago. The light becomes a beautiful feminine angel. Her light shines like a gentle sun, and you feel warmed in her presence. She casts her hand, and a path appears. This is your path, the best way for you to proceed. Notice how you feel about this path. Can you accept it? Embrace it? Trust it? As you take a step, you realize she is with you. Your heart then remembers she has always been with you and shall always be with you. Settle into this connection with her for as long as you wish, knowing that even when you return to your daily activities, your remembrance of her being with you during this exercise will have shifted something deeply for you. If you allow, it will allow you to trust and feel more loved and connected to that which is beautiful and true. To complete the healing process, ground yourself with some gentle movement and plenty of hydration. You can screenshot this if you want, but you can read the description again to yourself if you need it. You really don't need to be at war with your path. You are protected moving forward. You do have, high angels helping you rebirth who you are. Transition the way that you need to transition. Highlight and protection. Spirit's letting you know, the path is the path. And you have to, really seek to understand why you are at such a war within yourself about the path. Why do you feel so strongly, that you can't hurt anybody else and that you would rather take the pain than hurt somebody else? Does it go back to your childhood, right? When you were born into your parents' mirror? Did they teach you that anytime, you want to do something on your own or stand up for yourself or be the bad guy, that quote unquote bad guy to them, that there's great consequences? Did you learn how to appease and take the pain? Because when they were in pain, it was a tower. And Spirit's kind of letting you know, like, if you taking the pain off of yourself, when you stop sacrificing yourself for another, if they go through the tower, like, that is a them problem. It has nothing to do with you. And they need to go through their towers. They need to go through their humblings. Otherwise, you're going to take the humbling on with the pain. 7 blessings of Eve. It says, a spiritual gift shall enter your heart and manifest as a blessing in your life. You have innate talents and abilities which will support your soul into full glorious manifestation. You have been blessed with a beautiful divine destiny to fulfill. You have a natural healing ability. Choose your thoughts and words so they reflect what you truly wish to put out into the world, because your influence is stronger and further reaching than you realize. Eve dwelled in the original paradise, the Garden of Eden. She is the mother of knowledge, and from knowledge, wisdom came to be developed. Wisdom is the egg of Sophia, the divine feminine power to be a birth mother of higher consciousness, to bring forth the light of loving awareness. Eve's oracle is not an omen of being cast out of paradise. It is a sign that a false view, which has been holding you captive, is going to give way to a greater understanding, which will empower you to be the bearer of the light, a priestess or priest of the egg of Sophia. This oracle encourages you to seek the knowledge you need, not to be held captive by secrets or misinformation, and to know that from your knowledge you shall be able to shed false views like a snake shedding its skin, and grow in wisdom. You shall know what you need to know and find your way in truth. This oracle indicates a shift away from shame and confusion, perhaps feeling like you have something to prove, or fear that you are not enough, or that you have to atone for a failing in this or other lifetimes. Instead, your soul is moving you toward the realization of the inherent goodness and grace that is your real nature. You are blessed. You are granted a unique, unrepeatable human life. Even if you believe in reincarnation, acknowledging the soul continues to grow over many lifetimes, there will only be one lifetime when you are this you. If you treasure this life, you will become bolder, more fearless, more willing to step up as your real self, more willing to engage in healing and say yes to what makes your heart sing. There is a rabbinic saying that every time a human being walks down the street, a choir of angels cries, make way, for the image of God is approaching." Loving humanity is not always easy, especially when the darker side of human nature causes such suffering. Yet there is much heroism, love, kindness, and nobility too. Look to the positive and open your heart to the best in yourself and those around you. Choose to see and nurture the spiritual light in yourself and others to the best of your ability. We are all growing, evolving in our own way. Even those who trouble your heart are doing their best. Acknowledge that humans have limited capacities and deserve compassion and a chance to awaken spiritually nonetheless. Do not, however, allow yourself to become a doormat to anyone's ego games. And trust the spiritual progress and protection of all beings to the divine as you care for yourself and others as consciously as you can. Certain numbers have a sacred significance that crosses religious and cultural boundaries. 7 is one such number, with significance in Hinduism, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Jainism, Buddhism, Baha'i, and New Age. The spiritual power of 7 includes a natural charisma and capacity to be an influential channel for higher wisdom. The presence of 7 is a sign from the universe to reconnect to the sacred. The oracle of the 7 blessings of Eve is a reminder that you are a sacred being and have no need to hold yourself hostage to shame, blame, guilt, anger, judgment, or fear. Acknowledge your connection to spiritual knowledge. Pray and your prayer shall be answered. I also was pinged to the Pleiades, right? The 7 sisters, while I was reading that. Yeah. I feel like those 2 guidance cards, not just individually, but together, really reconfirm what your reading was about. You really are meant to trust in the light and all of the different facets that light could look like when you do what is right for you and accept what is right for you regardless of how other people receive it. You know, even the 7 blessings of Eve talked about trusting it and people to the divine. Trusting their progress, trusting their healing to the divine. Some things are meant to be a certain way. Like if someone is meant to have a tower, then they are meant to have a tower. You can't avoid that. You can suffer trying to prevent it. You can make it harder on yourself and harder on them. But that is not the point. Spirit doesn't seek to make things harder. Spirit seeks to make things effective and efficient. And we can tune into our inner guidance system, which is the divine, or we can try and control it. And I think that's entirely up to you. Coming out of the dark night, I think this is something that you're going to learn. It's just a matter of how harsh do you want the lesson. You know what I mean? Secret code name Morningstar. I hope that gave you some great and valuable insight. I love you very much, and I will see you next time. Bye. Hi, Red Velvet. How you doing? We're going to do a truth key reading and get some insight into what coming out of the dark night looks like for you. All right. Spirit, please, for secret code name Red Velvet, what does coming out of the dark night look like? What does coming out of the dark night look like? Knight of Cups, Four of Wands, Two of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles, Knight of Swords, the Hanged Man, the Sun, and the Seven of Wands. Why? The Devil. Okay. Bottom of the deck is the Ace of Pentacles. Top is the Fool. Okay. Secret code name Red Velvet. Your energy going into the dark night is the Knight of Cups. Moving forward, I feel like your heart is open and you are not afraid to express what you're feeling, which may be a big upgrade for you. You know, the past energy we have, the Four of Wands, and so you're moving forward with a very clear vision of what your happily ever after looks like. You know what it is that you want to give, and you know what it is that you want to receive. And so you're communicating and expressing your feelings, very open about that. Underneath, it's because, you know, the underlying energy, why you are the way you are moving forward, is because you've juggled your feelings in the past. You've juggled ideal and real. You knew how you wanted to feel, but didn't necessarily express how you were feeling when things weren't, when situations weren't creating what you wanted to feel. Maybe you used to keep your emotions more bottled, you know, if something didn't feel good. And you're not necessarily willing to risk the reality not being ideally what you want. And you're holding really tight to that. Consciously, with the Four of Coins, you are protecting the self, protecting your life, protecting your manifestation, protecting your world, which is bringing you into a very communicative energy. And so, you know, as we get into the progression of events, you know, the near future to the more distant future, you're very fucking clear. With the Knight of Swords, you have no problem talking about how you feel and why you feel that way. You have no problem saying, you know, this was my past, and now I don't keep it in. I talk about it, you know, and if someone's not okay with that, that's fine, because, you know, Hanged Man energy, you would rather be still and at peace in your own psyche and your own heart than stagnate. And that works out for you with the Sun card. Your inner child is super happy with that, because, you know, the more honest you are, the more bullshit gets cut out. The faster it gets cut out. You're not wasting time and energy. You're not wasting your spiritual mana on people who would use it and abuse it. You know, the sun card in this deck is Baby New Year. And you're going into, you know, 2026 especially, you know, but every day is a new day. This is a new year. It's a new book. It's a whole new everything for you. And you're defending your right to shine, and you're defending your right to be honest. You know, you have a lot to give, and you're not going to give it all to one person just to have them not enjoy it, not be grateful for it. You know, Santa's sacks are in the back with all the toys. And it's reminding me, like, those who are on the good list get the toys. You're not dealing with people on the naughty list of energy. You know, like, you get the good stuff from me when you show up with good energy all year. It's not a sometimes thing, right? When the ideal is not real. If there was such a thing as breadcrumbs before, you're like, F that. You're not showing up with half-assed energy, and so you don't want it in return. Which is, you know, you get this outcome of self-defense because of the Devil card. This particular position in the Truth Key is why the outcome is the way it is. And this Devil, you can see the chains are not around their necks at all. He's holding the chains over their head. And they're holding their coal. You know, this is Krampus energy. You have been on the Divine's naughty energy list, you know, not listening to your higher self, not speaking your emotions, settling for less than ideal. And you don't want to be enslaved to it. You know what it's like to be on the receiving end of coal. You know what it's like to receive coal, and you're like, no, I would much rather stay on the good list. I would much rather stay in the light. And that's why you're so expressive. That's why you're so light now, because you've witnessed and experienced the dark, and you're like, the hell with that. I'm not doing that again. That's why. Being controlled by the shadow. You're like, no thanks. So you've gotten really... rigid is not necessarily the right word, but it is. You've gotten really rigid with your light and are unwilling to bend for shadow. You're like, I will shine as bright as I want to shine, and I'm not going to dim for anybody. You're taking a chance on a new foundation, the Fool with the Ace of Pentacles. And the 1 and the 0 reminds me of the 2026 year, right? It's a 10-year. The 1 magnified by the 0. You're like, go all or go home. That's your energy. Go all or go home. You know, scared money don't make money. Scared energy don't create positive energy. You can't win you can't win the jackpot if you don't go all in, you know? And so I think that's exactly what you're doing. Let's get some more insight into this. Let's get some clarities for you. Yeah, secret code name Red Velvet. You want your cake, and you want to eat it too. I don't blame you. What's the point of having cake if you just stare at it and it goes bad? You might as well enjoy your cake. You're protecting your manifestation. Clarify the Knight of Cups, please, with the Self. We have the 3 of Cups. Yeah. You're communicating your joy. You're communicating what makes you happy. You're communicating what you want. You want to be able to celebrate with the people that join you in life. Whether they're friends, whether they're romantic partners, even if it's family. Like, if you're not experiencing joy and you don't look forward to seeing them or look forward to hearing from them, if not hearing from them makes you anxious, like, you're like, forget that. You want joy. You want to look forward to things. You want to look forward to your relationships. You want to look forward to the connection. If something puts you at unease, you're like, forget it. You want to feel good. You want to love life. Clarify the Four of Wands. Yeah, the Knight of Swords. If it's not in alignment with your happily ever after vision, you'd rather kill it before it gets off the ground. Like, nope. Because you know, in order to receive your happily ever after vision, if you don't communicate, they're going to knock you off your high horse. And you prefer to be on the pedestal. You know that, people that aren't in alignment with your highest good vision, you're going to drop your shield and they're going to come after you. And you're like, no, I've been the person on the ground trying to get a happily ever after with somebody who was not on the same level as me. Maybe communications about, what you wanted and what kind of future you saw for yourself with other people wasn't shared in the past, wasn't communicated in the past. Like, yeah, maybe you had communications or conversations about what you want out of a dynamic, whether it's, friendship, familial, or romantic, even work. Maybe you've expressed what it is that you want. But it's like, when you ask them what they want, were you included in it? Or was it more general? Do you see that happily ever after vision with me? Or is that just what you want? You saw that happily ever after vision with certain people who didn't see you in the same vision that they held. Now you want to be clear. Do you see it with me? Do you want it with me? Am I a part of it? Clarify the Two of Pentacles with the underlying energy. Get the Five of Wands. Yeah, the juggling, the ideal not being real. It causes serious internal conflict between you and spirit. You don't like the guessing games. You were left guessing a whole lot in the past. And now, if everybody else is settling for less than ideal, you'll be the last man standing for what is ideal. Everybody else is going to settle for less than ideal, not you. Clarify the Four of Pentacles. The Magician and the Lovers, double Gemini. You're holding on to the highest love there is, and you know that you're going to manifest it. That's what you're thinking about. If there's a highest love, that's what you're after. You're not going to settle for less. You're not settling for less. Everybody else is sitting down on the job. Everybody else is sitting in that Five of Wands energy. You're the only one standing. Because you've got this idea that there is a high love connection, high dynamic ship connection out there. That there are multiple high dynamic connections out there, right? Across the spectrum of dynamics, like family, friends, love. You want the best. You want ideal connections. And I'm hearing you are meant to want that. You're meant to want that. Clarify the Knight of Swords. Nearest future. Clarify the Knight of Swords. And the Four of Swords. Lots of fours out here. You want to give and receive peace. What you're communicating, you want someone who cherishes and values and nurtures and honors your peace, who doesn't want you to be anxious or in your head or worried. You want someone who honors and respects your peace, your mental rest. Someone who provides an experience for you to feel at peace in. Clarify the Hanged Man. We got the Three of Wands. You're letting spirit be your eyes. You know, if you're set on pause because you're communicating and it's knocking out the ones that aren't right for you, you're letting spirit be your eyes, right? The hawk or the eagle being released because you know spirit can see further ahead than you can, and so you're letting spirit guide you one step at a time in the right direction. You'll follow spirit. If it feels good, great, and if it doesn't, fuck it. You're following your feel-goods. Clarify the Sun. Yeah, the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups. Fulfillment, happiness, living the dream, or bust. Because you're good otherwise. You know what I mean? You're good otherwise. Your inner child, this is the vibration you're going into this new chapter with. It's 10 of Cups or bust. You're defending that through and through. Further clarify the Seven of Wands. King of Wands, because that's what you want. You've got a vision. You're defending your vision. You've got a highest good vision right here. And you will defend it. You're not sacrificing it for anything. Super solid. Like I said, almost rigid in your light. It's just super solid. You're like, I know what I want. You are not unclear at all. You would rather do without than settle. You would rather do without than sacrifice your peace. You would rather do without it if it means sacrificing your light, sacrificing your joy. If you can't look forward to it, you're like, fuck it. The devil is justice. Yeah. The devil is justice. You went through that kind of darkness so that you know what it feels and you never choose it again. You never choose it again. You've been wounded when your ego was in control, when you were chasing after things or hoping things would work out or trying to force things to work in a certain direction and trying to be something for someone who didn't appreciate who the hell you were. Spirit keeps reiterating it to me, whether it's friends, family, or romantic. People wanted you to be something or someone that you're not. Or you felt the need to be someone other than who you were. Because they didn't value who you were. Spirit said, shame on them. You're bright as hell. You know that all is fair in love and life. And that karma's a bitch when you don't listen to spirit, when you don't listen to your inner GPS system, when you don't listen to your intuition, when you don't follow your feel-goods, the karma's a bitch and you know it. If other people don't understand that, they'll learn, but you're like, I learned it. I ain't learning it again. Bottom of the deck is the Ten of Wands, clarified by the Six of Coin. Giving to other people who don't have the same energy to give back to you is a burden. It's a burden. Filling up other people's cups who aren't filling you back is a burden. You're not dealing with impoverished energy anymore. I got multiple sixes out here too. 4s and 6s, lots of them. Yeah, good for you. What's the guidance? That must have been a hard lesson, you know what I mean? Especially across different spectrum of dynamic. What's the guidance, please, Spirit? For secret code name Red Velvet. 𝗧𝗪𝗘𝗏𝗧𝗥𝗢𝗙𝗧𝗏 of Seahorse. Capricorn energy. Capricorn energy may be significant, especially with the double card. That could be Saturn as well. Poseidon, it could be Neptune. So this Saturn-Neptune conjunction coming up in Aries might be sealing it in for you. Card number 31. Says, as you embrace your inner essence, you will be at peace with who you are, including your vulnerability, and no longer see the need to conform to social ideals which have no true resonance for your heart. You are encouraged to trust your intuitive recognition of which environments and relationships harmonize well with you, supporting your spiritual growth and well-being on all levels. You have the innate capacity to manifest, so relax and you shall attract all you need. Volatile or overly restless seas compromise the well-being of the seahorse. Such intensity drains their energy, forcing them to go against their naturally gentle way of being. They thrive in environments that are calm and accommodate their slow, graceful movements. Rather than aggressively hunting, seahorses patiently wait until what they need comes their way, and then actively receive it. Seahorse has a relationship of commensalism with seagrass and coral. Commensalism is the medicine of connection, protection, and stabilization. In such a relationship, we receive what we need without being parasitic. We intelligently seek out our sources that naturally support us, rather than attempting to manipulate someone or something to be other than what it is. In the case of the seahorse, as it hides from predators in the seagrass and steadies itself on coral, neither seagrass nor coral are harmed. The symbiotic relationship of seahorse and its helpful friends reflects the supportive nature of the relationship between soul and spirit. Spirit will provide whatever support the soul requires to thrive. In Greek myth, the seahorse is hippocampos, which translates as horse of the sea. Known both as steeds of the gods and as benevolent creatures who prevented sailors from drowning or becoming lost at sea, seahorses are a symbol of protection. They are about outmaneuvering negative forces and bringing grace and peace. Seahorse is our guardian when we are going through challenging times, especially on an emotional level. 𝗧𝗪𝗘𝗏𝗧𝗥𝗢𝗙𝗧𝗏 is a transmission of grace. It is an enlightening gift of energy that enables mastery. 𝗧𝗪𝗘𝗏𝗧𝗥𝗢𝗙𝗧𝗏 of Seahorse empowers us to instinctively seek environments that are conducive to our well-being rather than damaging ourselves by trying to adapt to external situations or societal values. It teaches that we are enough, and we have the innate spiritual magnetism to attract what we need in our lives. We gravitate away from falsehood and toward authentic being. Named for its seahorse-like shape, the hippocampus is the neutral center in the human brain. It helps us navigate our way in the world and find where we can thrive and best avoid negative influences. Each seahorse is a unique coronet or crown on the top of its head. It is said that, like human fingerprints, no two are completely alike. This oracle assures you that your path and what supports you will be unique. If you attempt to fit into social constructs or cliques that don't reflect your essence, you will weaken yourself and become more susceptible to negativity. You are encouraged to consider what is natural and best for you, to be honest and authentic, even in your vulnerability. It is only from that place that you can respond appropriately. When you are in your authenticity, much power and grace shall rally to support you. The world can seem unfriendly or unsupportive at times, but this oracle reassures you that as you honor who you are, you will naturally find friends and attract supportive assistance to obtain all you need to thrive. Yeah, you are unique, sacredly beautiful, have a higher purpose, and your inner potential is perfection. You have definitely been in dynamics where, you know, maybe people latched onto your energy and did damage. And now you're not willing to do damage. You know, the relationships that you have should be mutually beneficial with no one being harmed. You are fiercely protective of your peace, fiercely protective of the ideal that you seek, are completely vulnerable in your communications, being really open and honest about what you see, what you feel, what you do or don't like, what you will or won't tolerate, what is or isn't going to work for you. And it does really chase out all of the potentially negative energies. Whatever is meant for you, it's going to click, and it's going to click real well. You're after a certain vision, and you're shining super bright. It's almost like a beacon. Anything that's afraid of your light is going to take off, but whoever is meant to see your light and get excited about your light is going to see it because you're shining so bright. Coming out of the dark night for you really does look like defending a vision. Big time. And good for you, because I feel like that's going to work out for you. Spirit's giving me a really good feeling in my chest. I feel like that's really going to work out for you. Especially through 2026. You may find that by the end of the year, this is second nature. This communication, this style of communication, this shining, this defending your vision is second nature for you. You're manifesting in the person you are genuinely meant to share in peace with. Someone who nurtures and protects your peace, who doesn't want to cause you harm and would never let anything else come to harm you. Right? Fiercely protective energy, because they're going to mirror your energy. So if you are fiercely protective of your peace, whoever you manifest into your reality to mirror that is going to be fiercely protective of your peace. You're manifesting the energy that you're putting out there to mirror back to you exactly where you're at. So secret code name Red Velvet. I hope you enjoyed that message. You are hella fucking strong. Hella strong. And that kind of strength doesn't come without major fucking trials. You know, we're not born with strength like that. We're forged into it. And you've been through the fires, you've been through the forge, and now you are very much a weapon of sacred creation and personal peace. And that's exactly what you're doing. So, good for you. Until we next meet, take care. Hi, secret code name Snow Globe. How you doing? We're going to do a truth key spread and get some insight into what coming out of the dark night looks like for you. Spirit, please, for secret code name Snow Globe and those who resonate, what does coming out of the dark night look like for them? What does coming out of the dark night look like for them? Where you are, we have the Six of Cups. Past is the Star. Underlying energy, Nine of Cups. Overlying energy on the conscious mind, Eight of Pentacles. Near future, and as the future progresses, we have the Five of Cups, the Three of Coin, the Four of Coin, and the Five of Swords. Why the Five of Swords in the outcome? The Fool. Bottom of the deck is death. Top of the deck is strength. Okay. Secret codename Snow Globe. You right now, the Six of Cups lets me know that you do have a sacred soulmate in your reality who's moving forward out of this dark night with you. It's Scorpio Venus, the Six of Cups. So this is a past life love. Someone who knows how to nurture your inner child, who understands your inner world really well. So you and them are moving through this dark night together. Past energy, we have the Star, Aquarian energy. It's healing. So you've already gone through a major healing in the past, which is probably why the sacred soulmate is in your reality. Underneath, what's driving you from within, we have the Nine of Cups. You have certain wishes that you want fulfilled. Certain prayers I'm hearing that you offered to Spirit to answer. Spirit's letting me know it heard your prayers. It's working on them, and so are you, right? We have this Eight of Coin energy. And the thing about the Eight of Coins, in the conscious mind, you're putting in a lot of work, and there's a white mouse or rat on the card. And they're thieving energies, right? And you're putting in a lot of work, and the mouse or the rat is watching you work. They're not doing any work, but they're watching you work. And they make a mess of your energy. And so you're very well aware of it. You know, you have certain wish, certain prayers that you've offered to Spirit, and you're doing the work. Those who aren't doing the work the way you're working are kind of I'm hearing nickel and diming your energy. They're trying to distract you from your inner work, or your very real life, everyday work. They're in your reality wanting attention. You're very aware of it. They're used to you giving your energy to them, not what you're building or creating in life, despite them. You know, even in the Six of Cups energy, there's a third person on the card in the background. They're building a snowman. And you have and it's like the snowman, especially in like my doodle deck, it's people who are around for a season and a reason, and they're working on a snowman. They're building a relationship with someone who is a season and a reason. It's not permanent. This person might be cold to them, and that's what they're focused on, where you are focused on a very real relationship with a very real person, and very sacred to you in your life. Near future, we have the Five of Cups. And I feel like it is saying goodbye to that third party energy, right? With the Three Cups spilled, keeping that soulmate that has your back with you. And focusing on new contracts, right? We have the Three of Coins here. And you're indoors now, and everybody is working towards the same goal, working towards the same celebration. So it's like you let go of people who were not in alignment with what it is that you're working on, and ended up bringing in more people who are actually in alignment with what you're working on. And not just in alignment with it, but they're making it better or brighter. People you could celebrate with. And feel at ease in, they're in their, Christmas PJs. Which denotes a level of comfort, And you're holding on to that with the Four of Coins. You're holding on to the reality that you have that is peaceful and stable for you. I'm being drawn to the fact that it's pretty windy, because you could see the scarf is blowing on the outside. And whoever either you walked away from or they walked away from you, like whoever that third energy was, they're in their dark masculine energy. And they're holding on to control. They might even be feeling left out in the cold, like everybody else is inside while they're outside. Dealing with racing thoughts. And they might walk away just to prove you're wrong. They might walk away trying to leave you with pain. With the 5 of Swords, I mean, yeah, I feel like they might even be playing victim. And you're looking at them like, what do you mean? Why are you playing victim? Like, I didn't cause this argument. I didn't cause this fight. And someone, you know, walking by sees their energy, and it's almost like they're about to approach them, like, what's wrong? You know, the constellation. And it's like, you know the truth. I feel like someone's going to break out their violin. Like, when they move forward, because I feel like you're not wrong. But it's almost like, I know the narcissist word is kind of overused, but it's kind of narcissistic. It's like, you know, they created the mess and are crying victim and blaming the mess on someone else when it was definitely their energy that was a mess. And you're the one that's actually dealing with the real pain. Pain you didn't cause. Like, there was nothing that you did that would have contributed to this argument. And you know what? Why is it that way? Because you took a leap of faith on yourself. You took a leap of faith on spirit. Took a leap of faith on trusting the divine. With the Fool card in this position. You kind of said fuck it and left it to the wind. Like, you're not listening to all the thoughts blowing through your mind, all of the worry or the anxiety, like they might be. They might be holding on to control. Spirit saying they're petty. They're petty. They would take something so tiny and blow it out of proportion. They have a habit of that. In general. And you took a leap of faith on spirit. Let's get some more clarity here. Because you're really strong right now. Like, let's just take a moment to confirm your strength, because with the Strength card and the Death card, like, you've accepted an ego death. You've surrendered to a certain extent. Scorpionic energy, Leo energy, the power of your sun sign, right? We also have Aries, Uranus, Mars here, Aquarius here. You've obtained a lot of strength, taking your ego and control out of it, which I think It's why I think you and this person in the mirror aren't quite meshing, because they're dead set on control and having things the way they want them to be inside their mind. And if it's not the way they want it to be inside their mind, they would fight it and then blame it because it's not the way they wanted it to be. Where you've surrendered more to spirit, it's like, it might not be the way that I want, it might not be the way I envisioned, but I trust spirit, and it's going to be whatever spirit needs it to be. And you're having a lot of strength, right, in that connection with spirit. You're seeing things differently. You've allowed yourself to be humble. So you and this person, you know, it would make sense that it would result in a 5 of Swords. Let's get some further clarity on this. Let's get some further clarity. Spirit, clarify the 6 of Cups with the self energy. We have the 8 of Cups and the Ace of Wands. Yeah, you're very much inspired to move forward. That's divine spark, divine ignition. And I feel with the 8 of Cups, your intuition knows how much you've, quote unquote, tried. Bad blood, love lost. You know that you've been there before. You've been in dynamic ships like that where you've had to leave things that were unfulfilling, that left you wishing it was more than what it was or better than what it was. And so spirit, you know, is moving you forward, inspiring you forward, especially with the sacred soulmate, you know, that you're with, because they understand it too. All that you've been through, taking losses, having to move forward. And I think you're moving forward now, really inspired by the divine to transform, to shift into new energy. Inspired to really walk away from unfulfilling contracts because you really understand it now. And not only do you understand it because you've lived it, but you understand where it comes from, how it gets that far. From the Ace to the 8, but never, you know, making the 10, never reaching completion, never culminating in a way that is happiness for you. Which is, I guess, why, you know, that 9 of Cups is down here in your underlying energy, the driver, the hidden driver. Clarify the Star. Yeah, you have a contract with spirit to heal. And that healing results in a cornucopia. You know, that statue is a figure holding a cornucopia. And spirit knows that when you heal and as you heal, you're going to be really tapping into that energy. You have an unlimited ability to manifest whatever it is that you need. It was a part of the contract of your healing that once you heal, once you move forward, once you learn this, right, this divine inspiration, once you accept this contract, it results in something very solid and unlimited. Your potential is kind of unleashed. Clarify the 9 of Cups. Clarify the 9 of Cups. We have the 10 of Wands. You're tired of being Santa Claus for everybody else. It's exhausting. All right, we got Santa Claus sitting on the card. He's got his cookies. And it's like you go through all of this and people are like, oh, what? You want a cookie? Like, all you've done for me? Oh, you want a cookie? And Santa's like, do you know what it takes for me to be Santa? Like, I think I deserve a little more than a cookie, to be fair. It's a lot. What people ask of you, it's a lot. And if all you're asking for is a spiritual cookie, like, damn it, why would you deny me my cookie? It takes a lot of effort to be an energetic, spiritual Santa Claus. To be the giver of gifts. The manifestation of miracles. And I feel like you're gonna end up being your own manifester of miracles, right? Being that gift to yourself. Because carrying the crosses of other people, it's too heavy. Which is essentially what the Ten of Wands is. It's carrying the crosses of other people, carrying their burdens and making them yours. It's tiring. You wish to be relieved of that burden. You don't actually want to be the one that manifests the miracles and is the gift for other people like you've been. It would be nice if someone else took the reins for a while. Yeah. You're defending the fact that you're moving forward. The Seven of Wands with the Two of Pentacles. Like, if other people are juggling and they don't know what the heck they want and they're indecisive, you're like, I'm getting on the ship, right? I'm moving forward. I'm moving forward. If you want to pick up my cups where I left off and really learn and understand my energy, like, good for you, but I'm getting on the ship. You can watch as I walk away. You can watch. But you're defending your right to move forward because something is not ideal. The reality, the energy, spiritual energy is not ideal. It's like play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Clarify the Eight of Pentacles. The Tower. Yeah, you're thinking about blowing it up. You're really thinking about blowing it up. That's on your conscious mind. You know this rat is a distracting energy. You know how much work you're putting in, and they're just watching you put in all the work. They're watching you bust your ass. Not just spiritually, but in real life. They're watching how hard you're working. And they're just a distraction. I'm hearing you know it and they know it. They know it. They know they're a distraction. They know they're thieving off your energy. And you really are thinking about just blowing it up. Releasing complete control. That really does tie in to this energy right here with the Strength and the Death card on the top and bottom. You're embracing the fact that revelation is kind of striking your brain and setting fire to what you previously conceived or built in your mind of, you know, whatever structure you had to the way it was supposed to be or the way it was going to be. Revelation is setting fire to your control system. Whatever way you thought it was supposed to be, Spirit saying whatever way you thought it was supposed to be, like you're allowing revelation to kind of break that down, reset. You've been putting in a lot of effort to reset. You've been putting in a lot of effort to release control. King of Wands. You had a certain vision and you're willing to reset the vision for a higher spiritual vision. It's like aligning your free will with divine will and seeing what the divine wants you to see. The King of Wands is a master visionary. You're seeing more through the divine's eyes now than maybe you ever have. Clarify the Five of Cups. Justice and the Moon. Justice and the Moon. You're getting divine downloads. There's something about your dream state that's exposing certain things to you, but I'm hearing it's not literal. It's energetic. And how you feel waking up from the dream matters. Because the dream could be like tumultuous and volatile or full of whatever, but if you wake up unbothered, then the dream is not meant to bother you. You're not meant to give it a second thought. But if something shows up in the dream and you wake up pondering, you wake up questioning, it's because you're meant to look at it through a spiritual lens. The characters may or may not be in real life who they were in the dream, but the energy is there, the dynamic is there, the dynamic mirrors, you know what I mean? And all is fair when it comes to the 12th house. I'm hearing no bars held. All is fair when it comes to the 12th house. Delusion and undoing is delusion and undoing. And if that means there's bad blood or love lost or something like that, like everybody has a 12th house, everybody has to heal it and address it. What's fair is fair. There's no such thing as unfair. You get the energy you're in, period. And that applies to everybody. Clarify the Three of Coins. We got the Page of Wands. I feel like there's another card. And the Knight of Pentacles. The Three of Coins with the Page of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles. I feel like who you're with and what you're contracted to moving forward, you're going to get inspirations that come in slowly, but they're going to be solid inspirations. And I think when the time is right, because I'm being drawn to like a ticking clock and like the clock striking midnight kind of thing. Like when it's time, it's time. I'm being drawn to like different visual scenes inside my head from like Disney, like with not Sleeping Beauty, with Cinderella. You know, there's when the clock strikes midnight, and in Beauty and the Beast, when the last petal falls. You know, when it's time, it's time. And I think that you are going to move forward because you're contracted to move forward. And it is going to be a one step at a time, slow and steady process moving forward. It might take you some time to ease into this new contract of being around people who all participate. You know, even if it's just you and one other person, everybody is participating in making life great. Everybody is participating in making life beautiful. Everybody is participating in making life worth living. Anybody who's not in alignment with that can figure it out elsewhere. It's a process of getting used to it for you, right? One step at a time, letting people into the fold, letting people into the energetic fold. People you can commit to because they're committed to the greater connection, the greater dynamic, and the greater manifestation, you know, that everybody involved is of the mindset of making it better than it is. Right? No one's milking it or using it or taking advantage of it. Like, everybody is an active participant. Yeah, and the Knight of Swords, you are learning how to cut out, like, clearly communicating, cut out what is not protecting the contract, the higher contract that you have with spirit and these other individuals in your reality that are looking to make life worth celebrating. Clarify the Four of Pentacles. We have the Strength card. Yeah, and in the After Tarot, the feminine within the self, the receiver of the self, is so happy with the mind, right? The masculine energy, for choosing an alignment with what feels good. This is an embrace between Sophia and 𝗖𝗪𝗘𝗧𝗥𝗢𝗧, where the mind doesn't feel abandoned by the feelings or the intuition. It's when the intuition is received clearly, right? The help from the intuition on what to choose is clear. And so the choices are made and it works out well. You know, this is when your mind is in alignment with your heart. When your self and your choosability is in alignment with the divine, right? That free will aligning with divine will. It's like, thank God. You know, thank God. And you're holding on to that. Because you know what it's like. You know what it's like to be in dark masculine energy where you're choosing and not listening to your feminine. You know what that's like. Someone else is still choosing that. They're choosing because their mind wants to choose it, but they're not listening to their intuition. They're not listening to red flags. They're not listening. They're not reading the energy in the room, you know? And they're not participating and they want to control it. You know, they're not listening to what they feel they should be doing. They might even know what they should be doing and are just outright ignoring it, right? Where you already know what that's like, to try and hold on to something that doesn't feel right and what that creates and what it manifests. So your mind and your heart are very much in alignment and you're holding on to that. It manifests better. Yeah, and it changes your fate, the Wheel of Fortune. You've gained a lot of wisdom through your experience of acknowledging your inner divine feminine energy. A lot of wisdom. You might have to really hold your ground with that vibration once Jupiter enters Leo next year. Clarify the Five of Swords. Clarify the Five of Swords. Got the Four of Coins again. Yeah, you're cutting off this person who refuses to go through the ego death. You went through it, right? You went through it, the ego death. Really, the moon is under that. You've cut through your illusions. It's whoever's holding on to it. You're just like, you're going to get humbled real quick. You know, they're crying in the background, crying victim, and spirit's coming through like, we're gonna reap that ego right out of you. You've been there, done that. You know that's what's coming for them, and that's okay. It's divine. It's what's meant to come for them. Clarify the Fool. Why that outcome is the way it is. Clarify the Fool. Really, they're like, no, I want to hold on to control. I want to make it what I want it to be inside my mind and be mad and upset when it's not. And Spirit's like, yeah, we're going to work on that. Yeah, you're taking a leap of faith on joy and celebration. You're taking a leap of faith on partnerships and connections that bring joy. That you look forward to seeing. If you're not looking forward to talking to them, not looking forward to sharing their presence, you know, you're letting it go. if I can't look forward to talking with you, if I can't look forward to interacting with you, if I start to like dread your energy, like, yeah, clear sign that you're just going to take a leap of faith away from that. You shouldn't feel anxiety or dread, you know, or dislike energy when it walks in the room, or when it texts you or calls you or whatever. You know, it reminds me of a time I was with one of my exes, and it's about, I guess, 10 years ago now. But I knew that I had to leave, because if I was scheduled to work until like 9 and my boss let me off early and I got off like a half an hour early, I would just park around the corner. I wouldn't pull into the driveway. I would just park around the corner, and I'd, you know, just do whatever I wanted to do on my phone or whatever, and take that half an hour for myself, because I didn't actually want to go home. I didn't actually want to be around that person and what was expected of me inside that dynamic. I just didn't want to do it. And I knew, you know, that it was going to end, because I was dreading going home. I didn't want to go home. You know, same thing with my parents. I used to dread going home. I used to dread it. Any excuse I had to get the hell out of that house, I would. And it's not in alignment. You know, I didn't look forward to being around my mother. I didn't look forward to being around my sister. I didn't look forward to being around these people. Bottom of the deck is the Queen of Wands. Top is the Six of Cups. So we do have the King and the Queen, right? Suited pair. King and Queen. We have that Six of Cups out twice now. And with that Eight of Pentacles energy, underneath of that is about finished product. Right? The Eight of Pentacles, you want the finished product. You don't want to be working on this shit forever. That's why the distractions got to go. Because it's like every time you're distracted, it just prolongs getting to the final product. You want the result of all the hard work. Yeah, because you went through the ego death. You did it. This is the Death card out again. You did it. You did it. You want the final product. You and this soulmate, this sacred soulmate, you guys are in this together. You're going to come out of the dark night together. You're going to move into the light together. You know what each other want. You know what each other desire. You have a shared vision, and you're moving forward with that and them. 100%. Whoever is with you in this life, that sacred soul connection from past lives, that deep love, deep respect connection, y'all are on point together. What's the guidance, please, Spirit? What's the guidance, please? You know, I love that too. Like secret codename Snow Globe. Like you're in your own little bubble, your own little world. You know? People can try and shake it up, but it just makes what's inside the bubble even more beautiful. The more they try and shake it up, it's like the more beautiful you get. What is the guidance, please? Beta of Spirit Wolf and Shekinah. All right. Cards 23 and 6. Beta of Spirit Wolf. It says, give yourself enough rest. Only then will you be able to ground yourself enough to cultivate focus and motivation to fulfill your path. You will find a way through any tricky situation as you tune into your instincts and trust your own timing. From times of change and uncertainty comes confidence, love, and resilience. Embrace transition. Commit to your tasks and stay focused, but be flexible in your approach. You have the skill to intuitively handle any issue. Spirit Wolf skillfully guides us through transition and uncertainty. He enhances instinct, intuition, and presence so we can sense and avoid possible sabotage or traps, and intelligently and safely find our way around them. Spirit Wolf tunes us into our instincts without creating paranoia or hyperarousal. This is the medicine of awareness and engagement that comes from tuning in without fear, rather than from defensiveness, suspicion, and building walls against life. Beta of Spirit Wolf brings the message that your resourcefulness and capacity to meet your needs is greater than you realize. We have it within us to engage all situations with courage and willingness. We will always find a way through. As Spirit Wolf thrives in cheerful, playful social bonding with his tribe, there is also a reminder that connection is an essential ingredient in our approach to life. To thrive and have as much fun as the intelligent, playful, successful, adaptable, and resourceful wolf, we need love in our lives. To experience love, we must be willing to reach out, open up, and run the risk of letting love in, as well as to share it unconditionally without thought for what we can get out of it. Beta brain waves oscillate between 14 Hz and 40 Hz. It is the pattern of our waking state when our alertness and reasoning are heightened. If our beta waves become excessive, it can be challenging to transition into more relaxed states, and the result is increased stress. Stress is a significant problem for the human collective, and the negative impact on our health and our planet is considerable. It is easier for a relaxed mind to access clarity and inspiration. Beta waves are stimulating, and while heightened, arousal is beneficial in small doses at appropriate times. If this becomes our dominant way of being, our stress levels will compromise our well-being and our wisdom. The excess of anxiety-related disorders affecting humanity at this time is one symptom of beta brainwaves in overdrive. Beta helps us get things done, but imbalanced, it disconnects us from the nourishing sacred feminine presence within the heart that generates contentment. Beta excess is progress at any cost. Beta deficiency results in lack of focus and inattention to what is happening, so problems are not readily solved. Spirit Wolf brings a healing recalibration of our beta waves, so we can avoid depression and feel motivated, yet also know when to step back and reconnect to the slower healing rhythms of the heart and soul. It also suggests getting a massage, especially a head massage to relieve the pressure on top of the head and the base of the skull, where the skull meets the neck, behind the ears and down the jaw. Rub the shoulders, especially the neck, where the neck and shoulders meet. And make fists and lightly pummel or briskly rub the lower back and hip areas. You can self-massage or call in a friend or partner. But it's about relaxing yourself. Sometimes, direct confrontation can make matters worse. And I feel like Spirit Wolf is definitely talking about keeping your energy soft. Not reacting aggressively out of fear. Keeping and honoring the non-rational knowing of intuition and trusting your spiritual instincts and inner sense of timing. Like, you don't have to force confrontation. If confrontation is meant to happen, it'll show up. Allow yourself to be at ease and just trust the flow of things. Let Spirit's love fill you, Let that, it's like a visualization of letting Spirit fill your being and guiding your mind, guiding your actions from that loving place, so that you can trust what it is that you're doing, because Spirit is a part of it. All right, it's like calling in the divine feminine, that strength card there, that changes fate. That's exactly what that is. It's calling in your feminine. Speaking of feminine, we have 𝗧𝗔𝗥𝗢𝗧𝗥𝗢𝗡. The spiritual worlds want to help you resolve your worldly concerns. It is safe for you to rely on spirit as a loving, protective, helpful, and practical presence, able to positively affect all areas of your life, including facilitating the resolution of physical world problems. I was just saying this, right? Do not limit your spirituality to concepts. Instead, apply your higher knowledge and principles, grow your wisdom, and live your path. Acknowledge your value as a person, as a soul. Treasure the gift of your path, and let your spirituality integrate with all facets of your life. Shekinah is a Hebrew word that translates as the dwelling place of the divine. Shekinah is the embodiment of the light. She is in us when we are living our spiritual path, applying our wisdom and principles, so our actions, our courage, and our choices awaken compassion in our world. We are the sacred change makers and healers of the collective. The divine electricity of spirit needs willing soul bulbs to shine forth in the world. In the esoteric Jewish tradition of Kabbalah, Shekinah is the sacred feminine, the capacity for an experience of spirit entering the soul of a human being. When a soul is approaching the sacred experience of Shekinah, the ego has given way to some degree. There is enough inner space and heart willingness to surrender and receive so that spirit can infuse the soul. The soul becomes more luminous with white light. We resonate more with spirit than with ego. Literally, I was just saying that, right? Like, visualizing your body filling with that white light of spirit and letting it move you and guide you. We resonate more with spirit than with ego, and we feel like our true selves. When the soul becomes Shekinah, a holy dwelling place of spirit, our experience is very different to the ego-driven way of the living. We slow down and accomplish that which is meaningful. We feel connected to all that is. So we are inspired to do what we can to help according to our tendencies and talents. We co-create rather than compete. We accomplish our aspirations because we are no longer in our heads, but practicing our spiritual path daily. Our practices resonate with our hearts, increasing our awareness, love, presence, patience, commitment, and peace. Our spiritual practices are our life raft when the oceans of life become wild, and our magic carpet when we feel stuck and need inspiration and freedom. Our practices increase our compassion for ourselves and others. When Shekinah is in your reading, you have both permission and encouragement from spirit to embrace spiritual practices that resonate with your heart and commit to them, especially when you think you don't need them, or they don't seem to be doing anything for you. Those are the times you need them the most. To embrace Shekinah is to embrace action, to commit and engage, to walk our talk, and to be the light we want to see in our world. The ideas that nurture and inspire your heart are important, but the actions that transform hesitation, fear, and doubt into boldness, trust, and confidence are essential to bring those ideas to life. You have it within you to live your light and to put all your problems and concerns into the capable hands of the deeper guiding wisdom. You are not giving away your power in doing so. You are actually empowering your sacred fulfillment. This oracle brings notice of an opportunity to apply your spiritual principles. You are encouraged to consider how you can live so that your inner beliefs and outer actions are in alignment. This is not about denying the ego and its pains. It is about having compassion and responding from a place of kindness and determination to heal. The oracle also suggests a matter of material or physical concern that can be touched and healed by spirit. Your task is to invite spirit in and allow it to do what it knows how to do. Find relief in the knowledge that spirit is with you and wants you to heal through all matters of concern. And I just got the visual of dominoes. Like when you choose to let the divine in and guide you in one way, it automatically sets the stage for spirit to have you receive what is in your highest good for the next step forward, the next divine step forward, right? So if you're getting roadblocks in any way, shape, or form, especially in your 3D world, if you're being met with resistance or roadblocks, or you're dealing with certain stresses, once you let the divine in one regard, everything else starts falling into place. All those blocks start crumbling. One block ends up taking down the whole wall that was in your way. And I think that's important. All right. Shekna. Secret code name Snow Globe. I do hope you found that reading insightful and valuable for you. I feel like you're definitely in alignment on the path to this. I'm really glad you have a secret soulmate who is by your side with this and in alignment with you in the creation of the highest good. And I feel like you're on this journey of this guidance together. And I have a lot of faith in what you're going to be manifesting. Trust your gut. That's the divine speaking to you, you know? That's you being in alignment with your wholeness. So, much love and support to you always. And I will catch you next time, guys. Bye.